During the time of Sargon's birth, Mesopotamia was governed by many independent city-states. These city-states were typically independent political entities ruled by their own kings or leaders. In this environment, Sargon was born, and the most well-known story about his birth is that he was secretly born and placed in a basket on the Euphrates River. His mother was a temple woman, and there is no known information about his father. The basket drifting along the river was found by the gardener of Kish's king Ur-Zababa. The gardener adopted Sargon and raised him as his own son. Sargon began working in the palace at a young age, and his first job was as a cupbearer in the palace of Kish's king Ur-Zababa. This position involved standing by the king's side and serving his drinks, which was an important responsibility. While in this position, Sargon's sharp intellect was noticed by King Ur-Zababa, who involved him in the administration of the state. Sargon quickly gained the king's trust and developed a deep understanding of the palace's internal workings. At the same time, he honed his social and political skills by interacting with other nobles and administrators in the palace. Sargon's abilities and intelligence soon caught the attention of those around him. However, this also caused King Ur-Zababa to feel jealousy and distrust. According to legends, Ur-Zababa had a dream in which it was foretold that Sargon would overthrow him. Affected by this dream, Ur-Zababa devised plans to have Sargon killed. Ur-Zababa sent Sargon to deliver a letter to Lugal-Zaggisi, who was then the king of Uruk and one of the most powerful rulers of the time. However, the letter contained a secret message ordering Sargon's execution. Sargon suspected that this mission was a trap, but he carried out the task nonetheless. When Lugal-Zaggisi read the letter containing the order for Sargon's death, he chose to help Sargon instead of killing him, ensuring his release. According to some accounts, Sargon somehow managed to convince Lugal-Zaggisi. After the failure of his first plan, Ur-Zababa, according to legends, sought a more direct way to eliminate Sargon. This time, he planned to kill Sargon using magic and sorcery. Ur-Zababa sought the help of the palace's magicians and priests, commanding them to perform a special ritual to bring about Sargon's death by communicating with the gods. However, during the ritual, a series of supernatural events occurred. The intervention of the goddess Ishtar, or possibly another deity, caused the ritual to fail. The gods did not allow Sargon to be killed and protected him. This further reinforced the belief that Sargon was a leader chosen and protected by the gods. Ur-Zababa, after the failure of his plans to eliminate Sargon, became increasingly paranoid and desperate. Meanwhile, Sargon grew in power, expanding his influence by maintaining good relations with the nobles. Sargon began to gather support both within the palace and among the people. Additionally, the belief that he was protected by the gods spread among the populace, elevating his influence to new heights and placing him in a nearly superhuman position. Many in the palace and the army began to support Sargon's leadership. Eventually, Sargon orchestrated a military coup against Ur-Zababa and seized control. After overthrowing Ur-Zababa, Sargon took control of the city of Kish. This marked the beginning of his great rise in Mesopotamia. After taking Kish, he embarked on campaigns against other city-states in Mesopotamia and laid the foundations for the Akkadian Empire. Kish, located in northern Mesopotamia, was situated near the Euphrates and Tigris rivers, making it a strategic center for trade routes and military campaigns. After capturing Kish, Sargon turned it into a power center and expanded his empire by launching campaigns into other regions of Mesopotamia. The belief that Sargon was protected by the gods continued to spread throughout the region, further strengthening his power. Now it was time for him to confront the only remaining enemy he saw, Lugal-Zaggisi. Lugal-Zaggisi was the ruler of Uruk, and he had united most of the Sumerian city-states, becoming one of the most powerful kings in Mesopotamia. His reign was one of the rare periods in which the Sumerian city-states came together under a centralized kingdom. This region, which Sargon coveted, became one of his greatest targets, Uruk and its king, Lugal-Zaggisi. His power was seen as the only force that could prevent Sargon from establishing complete dominance over Mesopotamia. When Sargon decided to wage war against Lugal-Zaggisi, he knew that this battle would shape the future of Mesopotamia. The battle took place near the city of Uruk, and it is considered one of the most significant events in Mesopotamian history. The battle was fierce. Lugalza-Gazi put up strong resistance, but Sargon's army gradually weakened his forces. During the battle, Sargon's army captured the outer districts of Uruk and eventually managed to breach the city walls. Lugalza-Gazi's army was defeated, and Sargon's forces took control of Uruk. Sargon removed Lugalza-Gazi from Uruk and brought him to Akkad, where he was imprisoned and never regained his freedom. With the defeat of Lugalza-Gazi, Sargon significantly expanded his borders and transformed his state into an empire. During this period, he bestowed upon himself several titles, including titles such as Lugal-Anubum, King of the Four Quarters, and Lugal-Kisluki, King of the Universe, were used by many kings in Mesopotamia to demonstrate that they possessed authority beyond their borders. In a way, these titles were displays of power. The establishment and expansion of the Akkadian Empire represent one of the most important periods in Mesopotamian history. This empire is considered the first great centralized empire in recorded history. After conquering Uruk and other Sumerian cities, Sargon declared the city of Akkad, located in northern Mesopotamia, as his capital. Akkad was strategically situated to the east of the Euphrates River. Sargon chose this city as the center of his empire and began to govern all of Mesopotamia from there. He also unified the local city-states of Mesopotamia under a centralized administration. This meant that local rulers, Ensi, transferred their authority to Sargon and served as his representatives. This centralized governance model was implemented for the first time in Mesopotamia and allowed Sargon to manage his empire more effectively. Sargon established the Akkadian language as the official language of the empire. This language was used alongside Sumerian in official documents, temple inscriptions, and administrative records throughout Mesopotamia. The Akkadian language played a crucial role in ensuring cultural and administrative unity in Mesopotamia. Sargon, attracted by the rich natural resources and strategic location of Elam, launched campaigns into the region. Elam was located to the east of Mesopotamia. Additionally, Elam's fertile agricultural lands and abundant water resources further increased the region's economic value. Sargon captured the Elamite capital, Susa, and incorporated this region into the Akkadian Empire. Although Elam resisted Akkad, they ultimately failed against Sargon's superior military tactics and powerful army. The local leaders and people of Elam were forced to accept Sargon's rule. He removed the Elamite leaders and appointed governors loyal to Akkad in their place. Turning his attention westward, Sargon conducted a campaign against the city of Mari. Mari was an important trade center along the Euphrates River. He, seeking to strengthen his empire financially, conquered Mari and continued his westward expansion. Controlling Mari allowed Sargon to gain control over the western trade routes, further increasing the economic power of the Akkadian Empire. He also launched a campaign against Ebla, another powerful city-state in the west. Ebla was a significant trade and cultural center, and Sargon's conquest of Ebla allowed him to continue his expansion towards the west. The conquest of Ebla extended Sargon's empire all the way to the Mediterranean coast. His armies advanced as far as the Mediterranean coast. These conquests significantly expanded the borders of the Akkadian Empire and spread Akkadian influence beyond Mesopotamia. Sargon became known among the people as the King of the Sea. Sargon also launched campaigns into northern Mesopotamia. This region was known for its rich agricultural and pastoral resources, and it included the mountainous areas and settlements at the foothills of the Zagros Mountains. Sargon encountered little resistance in this region and easily incorporated it into the Akkadian Empire. Over time, Sargon expanded his empire to the south of Anatolia. He established contact with the Hatti people and other local groups in Anatolia. These interactions strengthened the Akkadian Empire's trade and diplomatic relations in this region. After Sargon's death, the empire was ruled by his sons, Rimush and Manishtushu. However, during this period, internal rebellions and external attacks weakened the empire. Sargon's successors struggled to maintain the empire, but were not as successful as Sargon in military prowess. After his death, the Guchans, who came from the north of Mesopotamia, attacked the empire and captured various regions. The Guchans weakened the Akkadian Empire and it eventually collapsed. However, The centralized administrative model and military organization established by Sargon left a lasting impact on subsequent Mesopotamian civilizations.